Have you ever felt like you're facing a giant in your own life? A problem so big, so intimidating, you feel completely outmatched? Well, what if I told you that one of the most famous stories in history is all about that exact feeling, and it holds the secret to overcoming your own giants? We're talking about David and Goliath, and trust me, it's so much more than just a story about a big guy and a little guy. So let's set the scene. Imagine two armies, the Israelites and the Philistines, lined up on opposite hills, ready for a fight. But for 40 days, nothing happens. Why? Because the Philistines have a secret weapon, a champion named Goliath. This guy was a real-life giant, over 9 feet tall, decked out in heavy bronze armor, carrying a spear with a tip that weighed more than a bowling ball. Every morning and every evening, he would stomp out and shout, daring any Israelite soldier to a one-on-one fight to decide the entire war. As you can imagine, the Israelite army was terrified. No one dared to step forward. Enter David. He's not a soldier. He's a young shepherd, the youngest of 8 brothers. His dad sends him to the battlefront simply to bring food for his older brothers and get a status update. When David arrives, he hears Goliath's taunts and sees the fear in the soldier's eyes. But David's reaction is completely different. He's not scared, he's indignant. He asks, "Who is this guy to defy the armies of the living God?" David's perspective is totally unique. While everyone else sees an unbeatable giant, David sees a man who is disrespecting his faith and his people. This is where it gets really interesting. David volunteers to fight Goliath. King Saul, the leader of Israel, looks at this young shepherd and basically says, "You can't be serious. You're just a kid." He's been a warrior his whole life. But David insists. He tells Saul about how he has protected his sheep from lions and bears with his bare hands. He's not bragging. He's sharing his resume. He's saying, "I've faced giants before. God was with me then, and he'll be with me now." Convinced by his confidence, Saul agrees and offers David his own royal armor. David tries it on, but it's too heavy and awkward. He can barely move. He takes it off and says, "I can't go in these. I'm not used to them." Instead, David walks towards the valley with what he knows best, his shepherd's staff, his sling, and a pouch. He stops by a stream and carefully selects 5 smooth stones. That's it. No sword, no shield, no helmet. When Goliath sees this young boy approaching with a stick, he's insulted. He roars, "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" He curses David and promises to feed his flesh to the birds and wild animals. But David's reply is one of the most powerful moments in the whole story. He shouts back, "You come against me with a sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." David is reframing the battle. It's not about his strength versus Goliath's strength. It's about his God versus Goliath's arrogance. Then, David runs, not away from the giant, but straight towards him. He puts a stone in his sling, swings it around, and lets it fly. The stone sails through the air and sinks deep into Goliath's forehead, the one small, unarmored spot on his entire body. The giant stumbles and falls face down on the ground. The unbeatable champion is defeated. David then runs over, takes Goliath's own sword, and finishes the fight, sealing an incredible victory for the Israelites. So what's the real takeaway here? The story isn't just about the little guy winning. It's about where you find your strength. The soldiers saw Goliath's size and armor and were paralyzed by fear. David saw the same giant, but focused on a greater power. He didn't rely on traditional weapons or someone else's armor. He used the skills he had perfected over years of quiet dedication as a shepherd. He used what he knew, and he trusted in his faith. The giants in our lives, whether they're a tough project at work, a personal struggle, or a daunting challenge, can seem just as unbeatable as Goliath. It's easy to feel small and unequipped, but the lesson from David is to change your perspective. Don't focus on the size of your giant. Focus on the source of your strength. Use the unique skills and talents you already have, the ones you've been honing your whole life. Have courage, step forward with faith, and you might just find that your giant isn't so big after all. Thanks so much for watching. If this story inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into timeless tales. Let me know in the comments what giants you're facing. See you in the next video.